Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Civil War podcast. We are glad that you are here with us today. We're going to continue our review of General William T. Sherman. And today's podcast, we are going to focus on the First Battle of Bull Run and the consequences that happened afterwards and lead into the Battle of Shiloh. So before we start, though, I want to just say thank you for joining us. As you can see, I got my Dodgers hat on, so the Mets were beaten, and so I'm going to be supporting the Dodgers through the series. They are up 2 games, so we'll see how the rest goes. Two good teams, though, Yankees and the Dodgers. Two very good teams playing, so hope you're enjoying the series as much as I am. All right, so when we left off, you're at the Battle of Bull Run, and Sherman at the time at this battle was actually facing Stonewall Jackson's army up on the top of the hill with all the cannons being fired. In Sherman's official report to the army, which I read, which you can also find in his book, he states that they came under heavy artillery and cannon fire, and trees shattering from the cannonballs. And when you think about the when you must think about what it must have been like to be there, to we've all seen these movies, especially mostly with like pirates and all, where the cannonballs hit and they just rip through everything and everyone. Just how gruesome it was. And as you know, as we had talked about in previous episodes, the battle did not go well for the Union, and they were forced to retreat. Now, Sherman was commended uh, on his ability to lead the men through an orderly retreat instead of everyone just running for their lives, basically all over the place. He was able to keep them in order, and he was commended for it, and actually raised and was promoted for it. Promotion he didn't want, and but he was given anyway. And the post trauma of that battle lingered, and he constantly thought about, did he do the right actions? And eventually, he was posted. He got posted back in the Midwest, and eventually, these doubts, this self-examination, self-criticism, led him down a road of depression, which his family suffered from. And we know this because his wife wrote a letter to his brother saying that she believes her husband is falling victim to the melancholy that their family suffers from. In his own autobiography, he does talk about this, and how he felt. He questioned himself, and was he fit for command? And uh, eventually he was relieved. Um, his superiors did find that he was no longer fit for command, and it brings us to this whole question of mental illness and depression. And I don't, I personally suffer from it, so I can speak well about it. It's a cascading event. Something triggers, and if you don't realize the symptoms early on, you just go deeper and deeper and deeper. And as the depression overwhelms you, feelings of inadequacy, of not being able to do anything right, and just not having any energy to do anything at all, wanting to quit, wanting to just, and it just becomes overwhelming, and you can't think of anything else. These days, I think it's fortunate. I think there's still ways to go, but I think these days mental health is much more in the forefront, and that treatments are being given which help people quicker and better. But back then, it was seen as a weakness, especially for a man. It was seen as a weakness, and I think it was the Cincinnati newspaper labeled him insane, right? Which, when somebody's suffering from this, it's the last thing that but of course, newspapers and news in general is exploitative, right? They're looking to sell papers and to make headlines, and so they're going to do what they're going to do. It's not news. It's clickbait, as we say now. But um, this drove Sherman even deeper into depression. However, he was able to recover, uh, and fortunately, and he was brought back. And he was brought back into the army, and he was paired with a general that he wanted to be paired with, which was Ulysses S. Grant. And I thought to myself, why did he want to be paired? And I think that there was a mutual respect between the men, but also Grant gave him, Sherman, the stability that he needed. He needed someone who was confident, who uh, knew what this war meant. Who knew of the what the toll was going to be to win. Who had no delusions of grandeur. Sherman needed someone like that, and Grant provided it. And the other thing that Grant did was Grant trusted in Sherman's abilities, and Sherman, and not a fake trust, but a real trust. And Sherman realized this, and it helped get him build his confidence, get him back. And we look at this at the Battle of Shiloh, and we're not going to talk about the battle today. So much that we're just going to say that on the first day of the battle, the Union forces were once again overwhelmed by the Confederates, and Sherman once again was forced to give an orderly retreat. So bull run all over, right? And but this time, Grant, uh, instead of applauding, instead of giving him a promotion, just really told him, when Sherman expressed his, oh, we done for. Grant just said, we're going to lick them tomorrow. And I think that just that confidence, that shortness, the, you know, the statement of we're gonna go at it again tomorrow. We're gonna win next time. That was, I think, exactly what Sherman needed, because he was able to put away those feelings of those constant rethinking and rethinking and rethinking over and over again of what he did or didn't do right, and start to think about tomorrow. And sure enough, that second day was when Sherman really got his confidence back, and then that was really what made a name for him, was his leadership. He was wounded twice in the battle on the second day, but his leadership was finally shown, and so he was promoted uh, uh, again, and but this time, uh, for the right reasons, and not that the reasons before were wrong, but I mean this time because of his actions, and we see him now. So that's gets us up to where I wanted to get, where we're going to then talk about his march to the sea, which he's infamous for, and we'll talk about some of the things that he's been accused of. We'll see if it's right or wrong, and kind of go through that. So appreciate your time and your attention. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you again next week, God willing. Cheers, everyone.